You guys messed up on that one. It'll probably get thrown out with county level too. So if you want to do police work, you guys can just hire me. I'll teach him how to do his job, teach you guys how to do your job, and we'll put this all to bed if that's what happened. Alleged.
After investigation, I'd be more than happy to refer you to the county attorney on the DUI charge.
552.108 A1 or A2 is discretionary, sir. You can always release it or show it if you choose to. It's discretionary.
More than happy to refer you to the county attorney.
And your attorney's right there. She can tell you it's a discretionary.
That's not the county attorney.
No, but she is the city attorney for tonight, so she can advise you on that before it goes to county.
Johnson, council will convene into executive session under section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code for consultation with city attorney to discuss legal matters pertaining to Open Records Act and procedures. So at this time, we're gonna ask everybody to leave while we go into our executive.
Actually, you're in violation of the Open Meetings Act. You didn't motion to go into executive
Oh,
session.
I'm sorry, we'll do the motion, I'm sorry, we make the motion.
And also, that's an open agenda item, by the way, too.
We may. We may, a little much for me.
Let me shake your hand with a great man. Thank you.
Jason, I have filed a criminal complaint on the mayor. He's handling it right now for official oppression and abuse of office. I expect you guys to forward it over to the DA's office. I do have a criminal complaint number that he's already assigned me. That way it's out of your hands. But charges I won't file. I've already got it filled out. So, want to play the games? I'll play the games with you.
Tyranny, corruption, extortion. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. BZWATCHDOG News Network.
All right, folks, buckle up, because today's episode is what happens when you mix government incompetence, selective amnesia, and just a sprinkle of we hope nobody in the room knows the law. April 14, 2026, I walk into the City of Hubbard City Council meeting, nice and simple mission. Explain to them why their shiny little records request fee schedule ordinance doesn't apply to me. Because, I don't know, media? You think that'd be the easy part, right? Yeah, not even close. Instead, we get front row seats to a full-blown circus. You've got Chief Jason Patrick getting called out again over that road rage incident I already reported on. And what does he do? Same playbook. Dodge, deflect, delay. We can't release that. We can't show this. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there hitting him with actual law like it's batting practice. And their city attorney? Silent. Not a word. Just sitting there like if she doesn't move, maybe nobody will notice. Then it gets better. The mayor, who, by the way, is supposed to be running this meeting, can't even handle something as basic as recognizing a speaker on an agenda item. I get shut down. They ram the ordinance through anyway and then act surprised when I say, perfect. Now we're talking criminal charges. Abuse of office, official oppression, open meetings violation. Yeah, all of it. And the best part, she storms out mad as hell without realizing she just handed me everything I need on a silver platter. Because here's the thing. If you're going to play stupid games in public office, you better be ready to win some very stupid prizes. So before we get into this absolute train wreck, go ahead and smash that like button, drop a comment or two, share this everywhere, and subscribe if you haven't already. Because sunlight is the best disinfectant, and today it's about to get a whole lot brighter.
To our monthly city council meeting, and you're up.
Thank you, Mayor.
Dory, is that how you say
Yeah,
it?
you can call me Basil. Everybody else does.
Okay.
Or BZ Watchdog or BZ, whatever. You know, just don't call me late for dinner because I got 8 o'clock going on. As far as in the ordinance, I'll just address that real quick. Whether you pass it or not, there's case law, which we were kind of discussing before everybody got here today. And I sent to Miss Diana today. It happened on March 26th at the 5th Circuit. It's a member of the press.
you got to give us the same access you would for mainstream media. I know that was the argument the last time we were here. So that should put that to bed. I'll leave that alone. There was another incident that happened on March 21st up on the highway outside of Hubbard jurisdiction involving off-duty Chief Patrick coming back from Waco in his wife's Suburban, Tahoe, Denali, whatever it is. And an arrest of a truck driver and impounding a vehicle. Also, Captain Cosper over here, and I believe Officer Lynch, who snuck in behind me over here. I would like to see the body cam footage to put that to bed, because Mr. Gutierrez is saying that you guys not only stopped him out of his jurisdiction, and according to that ticket, you are out of jurisdiction. The officers in mention drove up the off-ramp the wrong way without any probable cause, without witnessing anything based on his phone call. Again, these are accusations that Mr. Gutierrez made. I like to see everything to see if Mr. Patrick was in the right, Mr. Cosper was in the right, or if these truck drivers just trying to save himself from getting out of his criminal acts, if that's what the case is. I do know that the tickets you guys wrote will get thrown out. You guys wrote them out of your jurisdiction. You weren't even smart enough to write them to the JP. You wrote them to this court. You're outside city limits. The court has no jurisdiction outside that annex line, and that's where you guys wrote it. JP should be hearing that case with the open container and with the cannabis. So you guys messed up on that one. It'll probably get thrown out with county level too. So if you want to do police work, you guys can just hire me. I'll teach him how to do his job, teach you guys how to do your job, and we'll put this all to bed if that's what happened. Allegedly, Mr. Gutierrez is making these statements. I'd like to see the body cam. And if you guys are okay with me coming in and reviewing it, where, I can at least firsthand witness up to the point of the search. I don't need to see after that. I just need to see about the allegations about the officer showing up and what led up to the search. Because I heard he was thrown up against his truck from behind by him. He drove him down to the station, an hour delay before his transport, another 40-minute ride. The BAC blood alcohol content probably won't be where it should be. So again, I really just want to know you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing. And if you guys are, I'll put that in my statement. But again, Mr. Gutierrez is saying otherwise. So if you guys want to do something about body camera, let me come in. You don't have to make a comment, Jason. But if I come in and see the footage up until that point, anything after that, that's on you guys. I just want to make sure that the stop was valid, the search was valid, and that's it. I've already got him hooked up with my lawyers in Fort Worth. I'm going to see it in discovery anyways when I go talk to them. I'd rather just put it to bed now before it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, it's an active investigation. I'd be more than happy to refer you to the county attorney on the DUI charge.
552.108 A1 or A2 is discretionary, sir. You can always release it or show it if you choose to. It's discretionary.
More than happy to refer you to the county attorney.
And your attorney's right there. She can tell you it's a discretionary.
That's not the county attorney.
No, but she is the city attorney for tonight, so she can advise you on that before it goes to county. Outside of that, don't know how much time I got left. I'll just go ahead and relinquish whatever time so we can get out of here tonight.
Okay, we're gonna go into our agenda items. The first one is to discuss, consider, and act on 2024-2025 financial audit.
So we can move to the next one. The auditor's gonna be available at 6:15.
Okay,
We have 2 other meetings prior to ours.
okay. Discuss, consider, and act on joint election agreement and contract for election services.
So basically what that boils down to is the county has now accepted the responsibility for the election processes. And they'll be maintaining and going through everything through the county, so. Look at the contract there before you, it just basically states that we provide the service.
Okay, so we make a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing's changing the equipment and all that stuff?
No, it's always been the county's equipment and everything, it's just the
Well, I
county.
mean, it was a total,
I can't speak on behalf of the county.
last election, I mean,
Yes, sir.
nothing worked.
Yes, sir.
So the county's gonna be handling our local elections?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing we'll have to do is still do our notices, but the county will assign.
So that's all that we're saying is that the county's gonna be handling this election, not the city.
The fees look reasonable, I mean, they're pretty much in line.
We just need a motion.
I make a motion to consider an act on joint election agreement and contract for election services.
A motion was made by Brandon Ivy and seconded by Kenneth Baldwin to, act on the joint election agreement and contract for election services. It will now be done by Hill County. All in favor signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. 4, consider an act on amending notice of election to reflect changes in early voting clerk and early voting locations. Oh, you're right. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. Let's just go back. Consider an act on amending resolution number R2025-02-14, removing the city secretary as the early voting clerk and designating Hill County Election Administrator as early voting clerk, reestablishing early voting location, days and times to be conducted, redesignating where applications for ballot by mail should be mailed, and establishing the location of election day, providing for notice of said election, providing for a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
Basically, that where the county's taking over now, Diana won't be responsible, just relieving her of that duty.
So basically, we just need to make a motion to relinquish the city secretary of the voting duties.
Also, the.
And designating the county.
The early voting.
Okay.
Location days have changed.
Okay.
Since our previous notice. And dates, there is a holiday in between the early voting, which is the 21st. So it's a holiday, so there won't be an election that day.
Okay.
Or early voting that day.
So there's 31st and 4th. I make a motion to act on amending resolution number R2025-02-14, removing the city secretary as the early voting clerk and designating Hill County Election Administrator as early voting clerk, reestablishing early voting location, days and times to be conducting, redesignating where applications for ballot by mail should be mailed, and establishing the location of election day, providing for notice of said election, providing for a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
A motion was made by Simone Johnson and seconded by Roger Lynch, to, reestablish the voting days and relinquish the duties of the city secretary as the voting clerk and early election location. All in favor, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Now we're gonna go into action item 4. Consider an act on amending notice of election to reflect changes in early voting clerk and early voting locations.
Same thing.
Okay.
I make a motion, we act on amending notice of election to reflect changes in early voting clerk and early voting locations.
Second.
A motion was made by Roger Lynch and seconded by Wayne Taylor to act on amending notice of election to reflect changes in early voting clerk and early voting locations. All in favor signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. So you don't think he might be ready now? Before
We can go.
For the date. Before it changes.
You've reached out on CPA, I guess it should be right at 6:15.
So do we need to,
Just
huh?
wait till 6:15.
Okay, do we need to go ahead and go into, okay.
We're going to do executive.
Okay, with a quorum of the governmental body present, which include council members Kenneth Baldwin, Wayne Taylor, Roger Lynch, Brandon Ivy, and Simone Johnson, council will convene into executive session under section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code for consultation with city attorney to discuss legal matters pertaining to Open Records Act and procedures. So at this time, we're gonna ask everybody to leave while we go into our executive
Actually,
session.
you're in violation of the Open Meetings Act. You didn't motion to go into executive
Oh, I'm
session.
sorry, we'll do the motion, I'm sorry, we make the motion.
And also, that's an open agenda item, by the way, too.
Okay, can I get a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn
Okay.
Sorry.
A motion was made by Kenneth Baldwin, seconded by Wayne Taylor to go into executive session. We will go into executive session at 6:11 p.m.
You're also in violation of it because it's open. It doesn't say executive session. It's not on the agenda. Now I get to file a lawsuit in the city of Hubbard. Fantastic. City.
Office is authorized to accept donations.
The city manager or designee. That
Let's
says
take-
or designee.
I see, I can read.
Okay, well,
I'm
but you
saying
didn't read
to
that
pro-
part.
Yes, I did. I said, to protect Jason, let's take out the verbiage of the city manager and just say the designated business office.
And who would that be?
It just,
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be the designee?
I don't know.
I mean, I would think that would be the same as the designee. Or maybe we could put a designated city official.
Designated city,
How does that work?
I would, yeah, I mean.
How about instead of designee, dedicated, designated city official?
Yeah, or the business office. Just write the business office is authorized to.
in general.
That way they can't, that way no one can ever come and say,
That's right.
I gave a check to Jason Patrick and no one saw, and that protects him.
And
I
then
don't
it's
want
brought
anyone
to the
to ever
council and
question.
the council
Yeah.
approves it.
That's right, that's right. That way his integrity is never questioned.
No, we'll have to come back next month, won't we?
You can amend it.
Okay. Let's amend the motion to say then, when we make the motion, you need to say,
The business office.
you want
Which part of the, policy?
Number.
it's the second page where it says the
Number 3.
city manager or designee is authorized to.
Section 3.
Is that in the resolution?
But right here, it does say report donations to the city council as required by policy.
Report donations to
But
the
it does
council.
say,
Okay.
it has to be approved by the city council, once it's
Yeah.
here.
But we can't be sitting here all the time, he may
Yeah.
accept it, them
I know.
bills, then it comes to the
Can we
county.
just make it an agenda item and make
Yeah.
it?
How about just
bring
make
it
an
to us
agenda
and say,
item?
look,
Yeah.
This got donated, bring it to y'all.
Just, yeah, just, you just want it.
I'm just covering everything.
Right, I get it.
Yep.
Well, report donations monthly to the city council as required by policy or law. Can we just put in the word monthly?
That'd be fine.
Okay, I'm gonna read it and then you can just say, okay. So you wanna say the city business office?
Yeah.
Okay, instead of manager, we're gonna say the city business office.
I mean, I know Jason's part of the business office.
Right, so that's all encompassing.
For Diana.
That would include anybody that.
That would include anyone.
But we shouldn't-
Hands it to you, or hands it to Jason, hands it
Or
to
Mary,
Mary.
or Carol.
Or Carol, I mean, that way.
It's not a specific person.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So when we get ready to make the motion, we're just gonna amend. We're gonna amend the motion to say the city business office is authorized to. And then on the last bullet point, report donations monthly to the city council as required. Does that work for everybody? Okay.
Sounds good.
So since Diana's gonna amend it, we'll just say, when we make the motion, we'll just say as amended.
Yeah.
So make sure when you make the motion, you put as amended,
Okay, I'll read.
okay?
You ready?
I'm ready,
Okay. I'll make a motion to consider and accept.
okay.
Okay, on the policy though, under number 5, we probably need to change that also.
Okay. Make it say the business office.
You mean on the
Is
reject,
the amount,
On
is the
reject.
amount okay? though?
oh, she's
Because-
talking about this one, the approval. Cash donations less than 5, okay.
Only
So
thing we
really-
need a number on
No, what she's trying to say is, it says by the city manager or designee. What she's wanting, that we have to, anything that says city manager or designee needs to be changed to city business office. Let's just say that, and that will encompass cash donations. How about putting monetary donations? Well, monetary,
Well, like Diana said, you can, well, if someone donates a piece of property.
Well, that's not cash.
It's considered
Oh, it is? Was not considered monetary?
tomato.
Yeah, I like monetary.
Put all donations.
Put all
How about just donations?
Yeah.
Just the word donation. How about donations? Let's don't put a label on it. Donations. There we go.
All opposed, right in the middle.
Which says,
Praise the Lord.
Okay, we ready?
Listen.
You've got all the changes. Just
I'm
put
just gonna
as per the amended changes. Okay, got it. All right.
I'll make a motion to accept the act on the donation policy, including all the amendments made to the policy tonight.
I'll second it.
A motion was made by Brandon Ivy and seconded by Simone Johnson to accept the donation policy per the amendments. All in favor, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Number 7, consider an act on ordinance 04-2026-62, an ordinance amending Appendix A fee schedule, Article A 4.000, building related fees, Code of Ordinance of the City of Hubbard, Texas, Section A 4.001, building permit fees, F, inspection fees for new construction, and repealing all other ordinances in conflict. This is what we talked about the fee schedule at the last meeting. So this is just actually accepting the fee schedule we discussed the last meeting. I just need a motion.
I'll make a motion. We consider an act on ordinance 04-2026-62. Ordinance amending appendix A fee schedule, article A 4-.000, building related fees, code of ordinances of the city of Hubbard, Texas, section A 4.001, building permit fees, F, inspection fees for new construction, and repealing all other ordinances in conflict.
A motion was made by Wayne Taylor and seconded by Roger Lynch, to act on the ordinances relating to the fee schedule, the building related fees code. All in favor signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 8, consider an act on the minutes of March 17th, 2026.
Only thing I see on here is on item 1. It says, Roger Lynch made the motion to table this item until next month, seconded by Donald Alden.
Who? Donald Allman? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, that's what I was trying to.
I don't know who seconded it, but Donald didn't.
Yeah.
No, I think, didn't I table that? I made a motion to table
I
and he
thought-
seconded it.
Yeah, so it was made by Simone Johnson.
We have the minutes, we can go back.
Okay, well, we just need to correction, accept minutes with noted corrections is what we'll, so when you make a motion, please do accept minutes with noted corrections.
That was the only thing I saw.
Okay, I just need a motion.
Make a motion to act on minutes of March 17th, 2026 with amended corrections.
A motion was made by Simone Johnson and seconded by Brandon Ivy to accept the minutes of March 17th, 2026 with the amended corrections. All in favor signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 9, consider an act on the financials for March 2026. Did anybody see anything out of ordinary for the financials? They look. Everybody should have had time to look over them.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything.
If they look good, y'all can make a motion.
I didn't have any problems.
I make a motion, we act on financials for March 2026.
Second.
A motion was made by Roger Lynch and seconded by Wayne Taylor to accept the presented financials for March 2026. All in favor signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Monthly report,
So
Jason.
real quick, I'm gonna allot some of my time to Danny, Kevin Dawson, go over some stuff real quick. But y'all have your police department report in front of you. Obviously, you notice through the thickness, we had a pretty busy month, 186 calls for service, 103 violations that were issued, and then of course, all the calls and services are listed there behind. On behalf of the city, we progressing. We're to the point now where we're fixing to jump over to the northeast side of town on the water lines. The guys are staying at it. We had a few mishaps, a few lines got hit, this, that, and other, but we're able to get it all together. And we're looking at putting some little strengthening some of the policies in reference to for future plans and referencing I would say anytime we have breaks or anything in our water, especially since we've been on Post Oak the last month, we've had multiple people calling with complaints and this, that, and other. So about the quality of the water, of course, but we hopefully next week we'll be back on our well, which is down, and we can get everyday services back up and running. But the problem right now is we had to send off the pump to be evaluated for insurance purposes and so forth, and I finally received the letter, and the letter states that it's due to surges. We were able to identify the days with the electricity company that verifies that the surges did cause the well to ground, so hopefully the insurance will be covering that $117,000 bill. But other than that, business as usual, busy days. Doing our regular daily work and everything else.
So we'll start the sidewalk project. I talked with Diana. I think y'all are doing a plan review on the final plans. As soon as that's done, I think I'm gonna bid shortly thereafter. I'm pending, there's one step you have to make sure of in a grant project like that the environmental's been done. I haven't specifically spoken with Whitney about that. That is a step. It kind of flows pretty seamlessly. But I do believe they have it done. On the school lift station, we are still chasing in electrical gremlins for some reason. If you recall, we had to have the transformers replaced by Encore. They went to do a startup, had some bad incoming power. We had our electrical engineer kind of look into it. Encore looked into it, determined bad transformers. I think that was about a 3 or 4 week ordeal to get those replaced. They were supposed to start up today at 1, and I showed up at 12:59, and there were some fresh tracks that nobody was there. So I called the contractor, and he went through his phone, and at 12:36 he had a text message from the pump control panel people that they were still chasing some electrical gremlin, a bad relay. So I'm gonna write a letter, it's kind of one of those letters that just says, let's get this done. Politely, professionally, but still with enough, fever behind it to get their attention. They're like, yeah, write that letter to me, we need it, so that they can then take it to their sub, which is Zone Industries, the pump guys, and say,
I think we've been polite enough.
get this done. Yeah, it's one of those lot of love letters type thing. But he needs that for himself, and so he can go beat his subs up to have them prioritize it and get it done, because he's losing money at this point. That's just the way it's drug on with a lot of things. Water well project, we are coordinating with the groundwater district, getting all the various requirements that they need for the permits to be in place, running that parallel with. We've completed our survey, our topographic survey, so we've got our layouts in works, we're getting our plans together, and then once we have all of that, we can go to the groundwater district and get everything permitted accordingly. Some of their terminology is a little different than what I'm accustomed to, and how they use the term operating permit versus use permit. So we're gonna get a drilling permit, I think is what the first step is, to drill, and then it will be, in the interim, it will be under the current use permits that you have redundant water wells under that permit. The CCN amendment is the next step, we're working that too. PUC, we found out there's a new form I'm working to transfer everything by the end of this week from the new form, make sure it's checking all the boxes. If there's some pieces I need to get with Diana or Jason on, I'll do that. And then we're tweaking the maps up to have everything ready, within a week or so to submit to the public.
You talking about this map right here?
Yes, sir, that map right there.
Now, where are we at on this?
We're
We got
gonna
a
be,
subdivision sitting out here at a standstill,
we're gonna have that submitted probably within a week to the PUC. The CCN is only going to capture the areas that no one presently has in a CCN. It's not gonna overlap with Post Oak. It's just going to capture that
no man's land.
that no man's land that is currently between you and Post Oak. It's largely your ETJ, except for where your ETJ gets out around city limits. The trying to capture anything beyond that takes, Post Oak already has that as their CCN for their water service area. But that area that's no man's land is what's gonna give us access through the groundwater district to more annual gallons per year that we can pump out of the aquifer.
Is that gonna cover the subdivision or not?
That's bad, we got a subdivision that could be built, but we can't build it because we can't get Post Oak to put water in, but it's in the city limits.
Well, so.
Why can't we supply water?
Because city limits and CCNs are two different things.
My light is off.
Ding dong.
Fire department had 46 calls for service, 10 of them were grass fires, 2 of them were 40+ acres, 3 structure fires, and 1 locked car that we got the kids and the dogs out. Everything else is just medical.
Okay,
Magic words.
thank you, everybody, for coming. Appreciate you. Okay, a motion was made by Roger Lynch and seconded by Brandon Ivy that we adjourn. All in favor, signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, no, motion carried unanimously. We'll see you in May. In May. In May. We're a little month to May.
Let me shake your hand of a great man. Thank you.
Jason, I have filed a criminal complaint on the mayor. He's handling it right now for official oppression and abuse of office. I expect you guys to forward it over to the DA's office. I do have a criminal complaint number that he's already assigned me. That way it's out of your hands. But charges I won't file. I've already got it filled out.
Look into it. Thank you.
So, want to play the games? I'll play the games with you.
So let's recap this masterpiece of local government in action. We show up, like citizens are supposed to do, ready to hold public officials accountable. You know, that whole democracy thing they love to talk about but suddenly forget when the cameras are rolling. We call them out, calm, direct, backed by law, and what happens? The mayor decides, you know what, rules are optional tonight, refuses to let public speak on an agenda item, pushes it through anyway, ignores the law, and then somehow thinks that's just going to slide. Nope, that's not how this works. That's abuse of office. That's official oppression. That's a violation of the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. Stacked up, nice and neat. And just like that, charges get filed. Because here's the reality. When you hold the public office, you don't get to pick and choose when the law applies to you. If you can't handle being questioned, if you can't follow the rules, then you've got no business sitting in that chair. Period. So if you think tonight was just another boring council meeting, think again. This is what accountability looks like when somebody actually shows up and it refuses to be ignored. Before we go, smash that like button, drop a comment, share this everywhere, and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't done so. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. I'm your boy BZ, and I'll catch you on the next video.
Tyranny, corruption, extortion. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. BZWATCHDOG News Network.
BZWATCHDOG.